get, we have a number of councillors, Councillor John, Councillor Ari, Councillor Peter Beard, and Councillor Sue.
Oh, sorry, Sue, I'm standing in front of you.
Hi, hello, Sue.
I will invite now Howard to give us an overview of this project.
Do you want to, I don't want to be rude, but I don't know how long John wants to hang around, the asbestos guy. Do you want to just quickly let him
to start?
No, I'm happy to stay here, that's fine.
Oh, okay. But take the opportunity to hear from John about the asbestos. Maybe we can dovetail that after
Yeah,
Howard.
we are going to speak about that after Howard goes.
Cool.
Go, Howard.
So, yeah, look, thank you all for coming. John, thank you for bringing as many as you could get to the council. Actually, this started nearly 4 years ago now. It's quite a while, and Nimmitabel was sort of, you know, it needed a bit of pulling together, and the wind farms were a bit providing people and other things. And I woke up one night and I said, oh, know what, Nimmity needs a bell. And anyway, so I took it to, that came out of, NAG had what's called a visioning committee, which the late Richard Lawson, and many of you remember Richard, who's a very good friend of mine, and Richard had quite a few of us in what you call a visioning committee, and we'd sit down and try and throw around ideas, and so the idea came up that, hey, that'd be a good idea. Took it back to NAG, to the first NAG meeting, and they said, look, that's a great idea, but we don't do things like that. We don't raise big money and physically do things. Take it to the Lions, which I did next, and the Lions were very enthusiastic and said, let's go for it. And we did. We had to try and find a bell, and we talked to all the churches. We contacted all the churches, and quite funnily enough, independently, Jim Jardine heard a bloke talking on Macca one morning, and I heard it too, and we both individually rang this bloke up in Maryborough in Queensland, and by that stage we'd gone online and found a bell like that, and he said, oh, I can't make a bell like that for you, sorry. And so we talked to this fellow in America, and the fact was that this idea grabbed the town so well that within 2 months 100 families in this town put in $60,000. I just think for a town this size, that is a fantastic response, a wonderful, enthusiastic response. And from your councillor's perspective, that's, say, 300 people voting, not just voting, but voting with their checkbooks, how much they wanted this bill. And so we went for it, and we just got it here in time for the Nimmitabel Bell Festival, which we held on that corner, just sort of where the gateway is there. We had the bell there. We had about 700 people turn up, and Logan Corbett came out to represent the mayor. Dean Lynch was tied up somewhere at the time. He and John Barilaro rang it, and I can tell you that Logan's comment to me was, I have never seen the town so happy. I've never seen the town so happy. And that was absolutely his response. And it really was a fantastic response. And John Barilaro said the same thing. But we thought we could have it out the front of the hall, but the RTA said absolutely no, it was RMS now. So no way, it's got to be at least 9 metres back off the curb. That puts it somewhere in the front of the hall. And so we had a public meeting. Hi, Izzy. Welcome.
Hello, everyone.
We had a public meeting here on the 20th of November in 1915 to say, just right here. And we said, right, where we take it? And the second option was to take it up there where we had launched it on that first day. Oh, John and Izzy, welcome John and Izzy. Glad you could make it back. And John's the president of the Lions Club, and he's lying here, and so he's as involved as I am, if not more so. And we said, righto, well, where does everyone want it? And everyone said, right, back on that corner, which is where we had launched. And I can tell you that the main objective to the whole process has been sort of David Wicks and the Pilates, and I'm not being nasty about that, but David led the charge up to that corner and said, that's where we want the bell. On that time, and I've got any number of witnesses who can tell you that's exactly. Get up. And so now the Lions have never changed from that position. Chamber of Commerce has been right behind us. I think I'm right in saying, Grant.
Oh, we're behind it all the way.
And I can tell you that of the 6 people around here, 5 of them, apart from the Wicks family, 5 of them really want to have the bell here. And we'll take it down and ring it for you, down just out of town. We're not trying to upset people. So when this thing dragged on, John took over and said, come on, I want a public meeting. And John Castellari, I know you were there. And the town voted 95 to 16 to take it and put it here on that corner. And similar figures against putting it anywhere else. This is where they want it, this is where the chamber wants it, to get people to stop, have a cup of coffee, whatever it is.
And Howard, let's not forget the attitude of Mick Pollard trying to pick a fight with one of our residents at that meeting, and also David Wicks's attitude at that meeting, which the mayor witnessed.
Yes.
No, but that's, okay, it's on the record, John. You were there.
Just so you know, I mean, some people have said, oh, but this is heritage. This will add to the heritage. It's not subtracting to the heritage, it's adding more heritage to this site.
Got to go forward.
And it is, and Nimmitabel will go forward. And I just want to finish briefly with a quote from a girl called Avis Thistleton, and many of you would remember Avis. Avis was a lovely, wonderful person. She's dead now. You would certainly remember her. And her quote to me was, because we'll have the names of all the contributors, which is really a roll call of all the families that pioneered Nimmitabel. She said to me, I'd much rather have my name on a plaque in the street than on a headstone in the cemetery. I thought it was a lovely quote, and people are really sort of enthusiastic.
Sorry to interrupt. Now, didn't she actually run a business in the main street, or the Thistle?
No, that was not this.
Yeah, but anyway, I mean, that is just to me the story.
That's
of
what he's going to tell
quickly.
I've known John for 20 years.
Okay, thanks Howard. John Harrington is president of the Lions Club. Do you want to add to that in any way?
Just what we've added a couple of times at council. We know most of the people here want this thing here. We've had to do an asbestos thing now. I noticed it's still here, mate. But, we know for a fact that people who stop at Lake William don't stop in the village. And the village is the centre of town, and the village is where all of our retailers are. And for the place to grow, we need the village to grow. We need the school to grow. The school's making a little bit of a comeback, and you can see the cars that are just going through this place since you've been here. And over 20,000 a week come through here now. So we just really, this is the best thing to grow Nimmitabel. It will become heritage. 25 years ago, this place was a service station. No one gave it the 7th floor. So it's just
here?
yeah, that's it, about there. Be the centre of the clapper. And so really, we're just trying to progress Nimmitabel and the district. More people, more jobs, more kids, more sport, more everything.
Thanks, John.
Sorry, John, it is envisaged eventually that we'll get some public toilets, because we have no public toilets in the centre of town. We now have 2 festivals here a year. The Steampunk Festival, which will grow and grow, and the Back to Nimmity Festival. Last year at the Steampunk Dance over at the hall, the toilets actually gave up the ghost at 8 o'clock.
And the monthly CWA markets.
And we really need toilets in the middle of town. Like if you've got a little one, and I said to John Barralero, he's got a 2-year-old, when she wants to go to the toilet, you haven't got time to get her down to the lake or down to the caravan park. And statistics show that that's the main thing that people look for when they come to a town, public toilets.
Yeah, I probably should have mentioned that stage 2 is the back here behind Nimmitabel House is still all Gilmaker House is still all Gilmaker property, and there are moved. Stage 2 will be a set of public toilets in keeping with the precinct and a car park. So that's stage 2 of the.
Thanks, John. John Alcock is trustee of the Nimmitabel Trust. Is there anything you want to say about locating the bell on the Gilmaker Trust site?
Oh look, not really, John. I guess that you remember back to the public meeting we had here. That I was the mover actually to put the site back over in front of the hall, because I thought that would probably resolve a lot of the issues with the ringing. But anyway, when it went to the vote, it was said there earlier, it was 95 to 16, so it was very clear that the bell was to be on this corner, which was
This
not
precinct.
back there again. So it was put to Jim and myself as to whether there'd be any objections to it going inside the yard. Neither of us had any objections whatsoever to that. So it was, that solved the issue of having it 9 metres off from the edge of the road in on our private land. We would have probably loved to have had it on the reserve, but anyway, it wasn't to be. Just that vision that Izzy has just pointed out has been on the books for a long time, and I just hope we live long enough that it's carried out. But and if you look here today, and I just come past the lake, it's just absolutely chockers with cars all the way up the street here. So what John's just pointed out, this stage 2 of the project out the back here is so important. If we've got a big P there to park in behind there, it would solve some of the issues of the parking.
Especially the car.
So I see that that'll be a vitally important role. So and then unfortunately we've had this asbestos thing, but that shouldn't affect the decision on the 21st. So anyway, I think that's probably all I can add, other than that I'm very much in favour of it. And I must say, I don't think there's anybody that's against the bell. I think it was the ringing was seen to be the issue. So that just seems to be with you know, my observations. Yeah. But I think everybody's still well and truly behind the bell.
Thanks, John. You mentioned asbestos. We have an environmental expert commissioned by council to do a test of asbestos on the site. With the permission of the General Manager, I'd ask John Robson to have a few words to the group here about what he's found. Is that okay, GM? Yep, go for it, John, please.
Firstly,
tell us what you found.
That big P sign could be for parking as well as P, so
Yeah.
as well.
Covers every base.
It would. Two in one.
Yes, I was contacted to actually do an asbestos assessment across the surface of this property. I'm a licensed New South Wales asbestos assessor, have been for many years. My company is in the ACT, 29 years I've been working continuously. My findings on this property this morning, you can see I went right across the whole site and checking everything. Predominantly I found maybe 10 or 12 broken sheeting fragments, which is the old fibro, the golf ball dimples on the back of it. Some of it looked weathered, like it had been there a long time. Other looked, it was freshly broken, which is unusual if it's been there a long time. I found 1 or 2 pieces further up here, and Andrew helped me find one piece right up the front of the door, the gate right there. I've taken about 6 samples. I've put many samples into one bag, but I've taken a number of samples, including a sample of the steam engine, which could potentially contain asbestos as well. I just made sure that I covered everything. When I did my chicken pick or did my assessment, everything I found I picked up and bagged for analysis, so I could probably walk back across there and hope that I'd find nothing, but because it is so random, there could very well be the odd piece here and there just below the surface. My gut feel is that that it's probably been brought in with the fill, that granite that's been put there. I dug down in the middle of that space over there where the bell is going to go, and I actually, with John and Isabel, directed me first, that's where it was going to go. I initially dug down with John. I know this is like digging into concrete. So I got my hammer and chisel out, my little mobile jackhammer, and I got down 18 centimetres and I hit concrete. So I think that concrete which is underneath that steam engine goes right across and was possibly the floor for the old tin shed that was there, steel frame shed. So my summary at the moment is that that site is safe for anybody to walk on. It'd be as safe as walking on any of the other adjoining properties here, which in their own right may very well have a small fragment of asbestos here and there. It was used throughout suburban Australia in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, so it is just a background contaminant. But in here at the moment, I know it's a public place to a certain degree, that there's a likelihood that there could be more fragments below the surface. But as far as the risk assessment goes for that, it's safe for anybody to walk in there. I walked around there without a certain mask on. I mean, because I'm a licensed assessor, I understand that non-friable asbestos, to generate fibre from non-friable asbestos, you really need to abrade it severely with a power tool or a saw or a rasp, a wood rasp or something like that, to actually to break the fibre out of the cement. I mean, it's like hard as concrete, and that's why it was used. It's probably 5, 10, 15% asbestos inside a cement-based material. So the likelihood of there being any fibre released from this property in the last 5, 10 years would be no more than what would be released in the general community just through normal building works and just the debris that's been lying around on various locations. So the way forward for this is in my report. I will state that there's been asbestos found here. Some it looks like it's been brought in with fill. Some looks more recently been damaged. It could have been there but broken, I'm not sure. But where that bill is proposed to go, all I'd have in place would be an unexpected fines protocol, which is typical in New South Wales when we do a lot of work with my contaminated land section, is that when you do digging in a site which could contain asbestos, then unless it's part of a large fill material which contains bricks and mortar and bits of asbestos, this is not the case here. In that case where you do have a lot of building rubble, then you have to do excavation and get rid of it as asbestos component waste. But this, I think the material here is probably come into the granite, and it's probably in that Greek festival which was just recently completed. I heard there was a lot of raking just to smooth it off, and it was possibly, because it tends to come to the surface, it probably just raked into the corner of that area and remained there for people to find. My report would basically state that it is safe to occupy, and that an unexpected fines protocol which would comply with the EPA requirements, New South Wales EPA, to make sure that at least there's a strategy in place should some asbestos be found unexpectedly. I didn't find any bricks or mortar or tiles or anything like that. It was just a few broken pieces of sheeting. There was probably a couple of bits of plastic, like PVC plastic, from downpipes or something, but there's no indication that it's part of contaminated waste. It's just the normal debris you'd find, which could be part of any fill that's brought in from a place where it hasn't been actually signed off as been validated as asbestos free.
Thank you, John.
John Rennie,
Does anybody have any questions of either our environmental expert or any of the project proponents?
Oh, thank you, John. Just to clarify, thank you for that presentation. It was very good. But just from my understanding, and hopefully other people here as well, are you saying that the type of excavation that is planned for the installation of the bell here, given your initial assessment and the fact that you have samples still to test, are you saying that there's nothing about beginning excavation and erection of the bell on that site at the moment, that there's nothing to hold it back?
The only thing I can see, I've heard that it was a pit for cars, for servicing cars. I don't know what's below the slab. That may need an investigation when you cut a hole through there for the footings.
So there's nothing on the top of the slab.
I dug down until I got to hard concrete, and it was consistent granite all the way through. I'm lucky it had been put there and rolled, so it's only 18 centimetres or 6 inches.
So if for the installation of the bell, would you have to dig down through the concrete?
That's what John's talking about. There's a protocol in place.
That's right.
If anything's found,
if anything was found.
And that protocol is in place simply so it can be cleaned up responsibly and correctly.
So would the construction company discern that?
Yes.
The constructors would
Correct.
discern that as they're excavating?
As Jim Jardine and Howard Charles are going down with pick and shovel.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully
I hope
we'll
that
have a
helps.
jackhammer too.
I'll lend you one, Howard.
All right, Andrew.
Can you confirm, you said earlier that the council have paid for this consultation. The letter directs the trustees to carry it out. You've said the council have paid for it. Can you be clear, has the council paid and organised this assessment, or has the trustees?
I'm not aware of through those operational details, you'd have to speak to the general manager.
The
about that.
Lions Club is paying for that.
So then what you said before, that council has organised it.
Any other questions from members of the public?
We're just going to hold you to your words, John.
John?
I did have a question. Is there any sort of basic remediation?
Sorry, John,
we
can you
need to do
speak up?
this?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
sorry, guys. I was just wanting to know if there was any basic remediation we could do to reduce risk, or whether you feel it's okay to go ahead.
I believe it's okay to go ahead. I mean, my idea of walking across that site,
Yeah.
if there was a whole lot of material there, I would have
There
noted,
isn't.
photographed it and left it there.
Yes.
But because my initial walk over on the site, I saw very little, not until we started digging around in the corner there where we found the 8 or 10 pieces. There was a couple of pieces up a little bit, so I picked up everything I found. So basically my report will say all identified materials suspected of containing asbestos were taken as the
Yeah.
sample.
Would you call those fragments stable?
Yes, it's a non-friable material, which is the same as bonded sheeting.
Yep.
Non-friable is the new term for bonded. Non-friable means you can't put it
not
between
crumbly.
your fingers. It's not crumbly.
You can
So
see the
it's an old sheet of
samples.
asbestos they used.
They're in his car.
And the broken,
You can see them. They're in his
I
car.
want to see them.
The broken edges become weathered, and there's potential fibre release. But again, you're looking at volume. If it was a pile of Mr. Fluffy asbestos a metre high, then you've got big problems.
And there isn't. So we don't have a big problem
You have a non-friable
at this
material.
stage. We do not have a big problem. No.
No, the problem can be addressed during the construction works.
That sounds great.
A question over here?
Yeah, I'm just wondering what sort of time frame are we looking at before this site is just released to walk across?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I can sign off on that now.
Okay, that'd be great. Yeah, sorry, I walked through it because I live just down the road. So I walked through it.
But you might find that council, once they've read John's report, council will probably then give us the authority to pull stuff.
And that's,
Okay.
sorry, I should actually say
Yeah,
that.
sorry,
I
I'm
can
just.
say that, but I don't have the authority to take this up.
Yes.
But I can
Okay.
advise that it can be taken up because of the risk assessment says that there's not an exposure risk.
And in fact, John has come here really quickly because I only commissioned him on Friday, and he could come today so that we can have the result of the tests before we go to council.
Thank
next
you
Thursday.
very much, John. Thank you.
And I'd like to thank you
So easy. So you organise.
on behalf of the trustees and Lions.
Any
Great.
further questions? Well then let us go to the park and ring the bell, shall we?
Why can't we ring it here?
We might have to,
So, this is the drive the bell.
Why don't we ring it here?
Just give it one ding.
are you going to ring it here, are you?
Why not?
Said,
You
let's
have an
Give
issue
it
with
one
it?
ding.
I don't have an issue.
One.
It's no more noise than the trucks going past.
Oh,
No.
that's right.
If you want me to ring it, I will
Beautiful,
do it.
son. It's a
for you.
beautiful
Howard,
phone.
did you bring the key?
Hopefully you fellas approve on the 21st.
The clap is all chained up, so no one can play around with it. And the last time, John was like, we're doing a demonstration at council and super staff kids. I wonder why we don't have
Have you got the sound recorder?
It should all be there in front of you.
Have you got your sound recorder? Sorry, mate. Have you got your sound recorder? Hasn't Paul got one?
No, they did that last time.
But you're not doing one now?
I didn't know, not that I knew of.
You want to hear it ring?
Of course we do, Howard.
We'll step back a little bit and we'll just
For own having for breakfast.
No, I'd say if everybody stood somewhere near the Gulmacker house sign, that'd be about where you'd be to it.
Now, do you want me to show you?
Hey, John,
Might be,
block your ears if you're going to stand that close.
yeah, I just moved back about near the Gulmacker sign because that's about as close as you'll be when.
You want 12 rings?
Why not? Come on.
Can you do 12 on your own, Howie?
12?
Can you do 12?
Ready?
1.8. They had a decibel meter.
That's louder than it will be.
The readings were within acceptable levels. They timed it to 33 seconds, which was timed until the final vibration stopped after the final hit.
Where would they take the vibrations?
We took them just up on the corner up there.
So it's close to the...
And that's louder than it will be.
They weren't very far away from the bell. And then we rang it again and they took it.
That's all we want.
Yeah.
Oh, bloody truck's worse than that.
Yeah. And that's the amount of time it will take as well once a day.
Oh, isn't that a punch?
Okay.
And that was only a logging
Well, thank you everyone. I guess that concludes our meeting.
Yeah. I've got to move these things.
Getting my lunch together.
Yeah.